Here's a wind-up toy which is very helpful because it
extends for days.
So let's get
Magician.
What a useful little creature. And this little beauty, when you wound up,
Zen Maidi.
does a lovely action.
Summons from deck.
Gets up again, just about. And then,
summons from deck again.
What a beautiful action.
Hey gang, welcome back. Mad Matt here, and if you've been wondering why they call me that, well, don't make me mad. You won't like me when I'm mad. I might do something like take wind up on the ladder. In fact, that's the deck profile I've got for you today. I mean, you probably already knew that. You read the title. Anyway, this deck is sort of near and dear to my heart, as wind up is an archetype I played back in the olden days. I mean, like the way olden days, when I didn't have gray hairs and a mortgage, and I'd shock lock someone on Dueling Network, even though Dueling Network sucked eggs, but, you know, we were happy to have it. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Anyway, back to windups. If you're not familiar, windups are an XYZ toolbox strategy for ranks 3, 4, and 5 with a bunch of ways to spam monsters onto the board and alter their levels. And they actually do a really good job at accomplishing that. They also have some fantastic flavor where they can only do their effect once while they're face up on the field. But you can reset it or wind them back up, you know, wind up as in the name, by like flipping them face down, bouncing the hand, something like that. Unfortunately, windups are best known for basically just doing degenerate things like hand ripping, spam summoning, shock locking, OTKing. And I mean, we plan to continue that trend with this degenerate wombo combo deck. When you look at the wind-up cards, you have to ask yourself, what were they thinking? And you'll quickly realize why so many of them did time on the Forbidden and Limited list, or are still serving a life sentence for, like, crimes against humanity. Wind-ups was probably the first instance where Konami really took a look at themselves and they're like, man, we really got to start printing cards with hard once per turns, and we really start putting restrictions on what can be summoned after effects get activated. I mean, obviously they didn't learn their lesson completely. So anyway, let's get into the card by card. We'll start off just by taking a look at the windups themselves. The first one we'll take a look at is the boy himself, windup carrier Zen Meaty. To start off with, for some reason, he is just a generic rank 3, so any 2 level 3s can summon him. So nice, generic materials. And then his effect is, you can detach a material to special summon a wind-up monster from your hand or your deck. No summoning restrictions afterwards. Doesn't lock you into wind-ups or machines or anything like that afterwards. The summon monster's effect isn't negated, and surely this has a once per turn printed on here somewhere. Oh wait, it's just like a soft once per turn just because like an XYZ monster, but just fantastic card design. Just like every single point on broken card design is just present in this bad boy. Next up, we've got Wind Up Magician, where his effect is if a Wind Up monster is activated, he can special summon a level 4 or lower Wind Up monster from your deck. And he happens to be a level 4 Wind Up monster, so yes, Magician can summon Magician, and obviously we will be doing that. And once again, he does not negate the effect of the monster that's summoned. He does not type restrict you or anything like that. No sort of restrictions afterwards. Then also, once again, a nice little soft once per turn. Very great design. Next up, we've got Wind Up Rat.
Rat? Is this?
A level 3, where his effect is if he's in attack, he can change himself to defense position, and then special summon one wind-up monster from your grave. And I'm sure you get the picture by now. The monster that summoned, their effect is negated. There's no summoning locks, obviously soft ones per turn. So we aim to take advantage of these 3 in particular in order to summon many, many, many times over our turn and end on just a hopefully unbreakable board of interruptions and negates. I mean, you know the usual combo shenanigans. And I mean, if you just take a brief glance at our extra deck here, you kind of already see it's there. But anyway, for the ratios, we are on 3 Rat, 3 Magician. We will be summoning each of these at least once during our entire combo, which you will see. And sometimes maybe even more than once. We are on 3 Wind-Up Shark, sort of unrelated, but Wind-Up Shark is one of my favorite cards ever printed, just because it does basically everything the archetype needed. He's just so well designed. When you normal or special summon a Wind-Up monster, you can special summon him from hand, so just that on its own is great extension. But also that's a windup effect triggering, so that will allow windup magician to activate. So that allows you to summon another windup from deck. And then on field, windup shark can change his level either to 5 or 3, and he himself is a 4. So he works as a level 3, 4, or 5 for any like XYZ plays you want to make. But then also him just changing the level, that's also the activation of a windups effect. So you can have him get magician on the board, summon shark. That shark's going to trigger that magician. That magician can summon another magician. Then you can activate that shark you just summoned, and that's going to activate your next magician. And then you could probably, you can kind of see where this is going. Yes, you are going to summon another magician. The combos pretty much build themselves. And then last for main deck windups, we are on one wind up dog. His effect doesn't matter and won't ever come up. The way the combo shakes out, we need exactly one more wind up in our deck, and in particular level one that's level 3. If you're familiar with wind up rabbit, he's obviously better than wind up dog. But what that dog doing? Also, in previous builds, I was running Rescue Cat because Wind Up Dog and Rat happen to be level 3 beasts, so Rescue Cat can go into them. I've since dropped the Rescue Cat, but I ended up just keeping the dog because who doesn't like this good boy? For the extra deck for windups, we're on 2 Zenmaity. I know we did recently get the third one off the ban list, and believe me, summoning a third copy of Zenmaity is not an issue, but I don't know where we would necessarily find room in our extra deck because extra deck space is extremely tight. And for the combo, board space becomes a major issue, so I'm not even sure we can make a third copy work. But more importantly, we're running Daigosto Emerald as part of our combo. And as you'll see in the combo, we'll use him to recover the 2 Zenmaities we used. So we're currently only on 2, but really we're going to use 4 Zenmaities in our combo. We're on 1 windup Zen maintenance, just fantastic legacy support. On summon, he searches any windup card. 99% of the time, you'll just be grabbing windup shark because of shark's ability to just extend himself from hand. But he can also banish 1 windup monster that's face up on your field in order to summon one from your deck that has the same name. So basically just resetting their effect. So Zen Maintenance ends up being just an easy +1, just great extension. He's got good link arrows, just really awesome card. Konami did finally learn their lesson, and they did make both of his effects hard once per turns. So that's why we're only on 1 Zen Maintenance, but he's just so perfect to go into that we're happy that we even get to run him at all. For our engine, our combo revolves around getting windup carriers and Matey out, and he's a generic rank 3, so we're just running a bunch of ways to easily summon level 3 monsters, which you'll quickly see as we get into it. We're on 1 Gilosaurus. This card is basically as old as the dinosaurs. You might not even know who he is, but his effect is kind of awful. But going first, he's just a free level 3 special summon from hand. So we're running one of just as an extra level 3 that we can sometimes special summon as an extender. Around 3 Junk Speeder, you can special summon himself for free. This does not start a chain, so he does kind of play around Maxi, which is kind of nice. We are on 1 Terratop because he is the best level 3 engine in the game. He can summon himself for free, then searches out Tekatomborg, and then Tekatomborg can special summon himself when there's a wind on the board, and Terratop happens to be a 3. So Terratop on his own is 1 Zenmaity without using up your normal summon, which is just fantastic. And then I know Tekatomborg is one of those classic Garnets, but it's actually not too big of a deal because we do run some wind monsters in the deck, and we do go into our combo. So like Daigosto Emerald is a wind, so at some point in your combo you're going to go into Emerald and you'll be able to summon Tekatomborg at that point if you need the extension. Also, Apollo USA also happens to be a wind. We're on 2 Danger Jackalope, 3 Sukanoko. They're just free special summons. They're mostly immune to Ash Blossom and possibly draw a good card or extra extender for you on effect resolution. The only downside is sometimes you're getting a bit twisted with awkward hands if you have to special summon them first. But they're some of the best extenders of the game, especially for any level 3 strategy. We're on 2 Psychic Wheel, 2 Psychic Tracker. Both can special summon themselves for free. You just need a level 3 on board, and as you obviously see, we have no shortage of level 3s. We're on 1 D Hero Denier, 1 D Hero Dasher, 2 Destiny Fusions. Why did they bring this card back to? I don't know, but we're running it too because we can. Because obviously we are on Verte and DPE because we have no issue going into Verte with this deck, and DPE is part of our end board. So we've got to run them. We are on 1 Adamancipator Researcher. We'll never use her on-field effects, but we will use her as a searchable level 2 tuner that can special summon herself. as long as you have a rock on board. And we can go into Gallant Granite, because Gallant Granite is a generic rank 4, and we have no issue getting 2 level 4s on the board. So we'll go into Gallant Granite as part of our combo, which will allow us to search Researcher, and Gallant Granite's a rock, so we'll special summon Researcher. And then Researcher plus Windup Rat, they're both Earths, so then you can go into Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast is low-key incredibly broken, especially with Runic being so prevalent. His effect is not once per turn, not even once per chain, negate spell cards for basically free. I mean, you're just using cards off the top of your deck. Who gives a crap? Might as well be an FTK against Runic if they don't draw pretty much exactly Lava Golem. And a lot of other decks just have an incredibly hard time dealing with him. So the fact that we can run Naturia Beast, we can go into him easily off our combo, we're going to do it. And here's a duel for you, just an example. Right in the draw phase, I'm set up, so I just fire off this Maxi. He's going to go with the Call by the Brave, but up, Naturia Beast. See ya, nice try. We're going to go to main phase. Try to start off with Rhoda. Might as well negate that too. Hero lives. Nice 4,000 life points, thank you. Oh, Polymerization, don't mind if we do. Naturia Beast again. What a cool card. And yeah, he's just going to scoop it up there. Yeah, so there's Naturia Beast. For non-engine, 3 Max C, 3 Ash, 2 Called By, 1 Crossout, just your standard Master Duel lineup. And then I've got 1 of Imperm as a possible cheeky crossout target, and it's not bad drawing into. Ash also happens to be a level 3, and normal summon Ash sometimes gets the gravy train rolling, so I just want to point that out, just in case it comes up for you. For cards in the extra deck I didn't go over, we are on Utopic Draco Future. Because we have no issue getting out our 2 Zenmaity, and they can work as material for Utopic Draco Future. They become perfect material for this just insane boss monster, and you'll see him as part of our end boards, as part of our combo. We are on 1 IP Masquerena as part of our possible end board, or just link climbing. Typically we'll go into her when we happen to like draw Fusion Destiny, because usually we're going into Verte. But if we have Fusion Destiny in our hand, we don't need to go into Verte, so we can just go into IP Mask instead. But there are other instances where you might want to go into her. We are on 1 Nightmare Unicorn just for removal, link climbing, just as a strong IP Mask target, and just all-around staple. We are on 1 Avermac as a possible target for IP Mask to go into, or just for us to link climb into. We have no difficulty getting monsters onto the board to get materials for this guy, so the fact that we can run him, we will. We're on 1 Apollo USA, we go into her as part of our end board, and we really shouldn't need an introduction on how strong this card is. Definitely one of the best link 4s you can go into, especially as part of a combo end board where you're trying to put up as many negates as possible. And then last one, access code Talker, just as a finisher, or if you're OTKing if we lose a coin flip, since we have no problem just spitting out monsters to link climb with. So next I'll show you our main combo lines and our typical desired end board. There are some tweaks you could do to the end board depending on what you prioritize, but I'll show you the bread and butter combo line I've been running with and how to get there. I also have some duels to showcase just so you can see the deck in action. Then at the end I put together some other cards for you to consider, as well as some final thoughts for the deck. But with that, let's see what the deck can do. I will say the lines in this deck aren't always the most obvious, and we're running a few garnets, so drawing them will change things up for you. And also how many windups you happen to draw in your hand will affect what you're able to extend into, so you do have to get a little flexible with the combos on this deck. But after you get a feel for it, it kind of becomes second nature, because at the end of the day, the combo is summon every single one of your windups over the turn, do whatever you need to do to make that happen, summon out your boss monsters from the extra deck, and use any extenders in your hand that you might need to help that happen. The first combo I'm going to be showing is when you're able to get a level 3 windup on board and any other level 3 monster. I have the general combos listed up in the spreadsheet, which I have in the description, but even here you'll see I'll have to switch things up just a bit with the extra shark in hand. So with that, let's get into the combo. First we'll start out Special Summon Gilosaurus, just as a free level 3 extender on the board. Then we will normal summon Windup Dog. So now we have our level 3 windup on board and other level 3 monsters, so now we can go into Windup Carrier Zenmaity. Activate Zenmaity's effect. Make sure you detach the level 3 windup, because you need that because you're about to summon Windup Rat. So special summon Windup Rat with Zenmaity's effect. Activate Rat's effect. Target that windup you just detached as material. So now you've got 2 level 3 windups on board again. So now you'll overlay to go into Zenmaity once again. This point doesn't matter if you detach. I'd probably recommend Rat, but I don't think it really makes a difference. So we'll go ahead and detach Rat here, and then you want to special summon a Windup Magician. Now you will link off these two carriers for Zen Maintenance. Activate Zen Maintenance's effect. And we'll add a shark. And then that's going to trigger Magician's effect because they wind up on the board, activate its effect, meaning Zen Maintenance activates its effect. We'll special summon Magician. Now since they wind up with special summon, we can special summon the shark we just added, so we'll do that. That's going to trigger the wind up Magician we just summoned. We'll use that to special summon the last Magician from our deck. And now we will activate Wind Up Shark's effect to reduce his level to level 3. That's going to trigger our final Magician's effect, and at this point we want to get out one of the level 3s left in our deck that's preferably not Rat, because we want to keep the Rats for the next part of the combo. So at this point we'll overlay two of the Magicians that we already used their effects on into Daigusto Emerald. We'll activate his effect, we will detach a material, and we will add back Carrier, Carrier, and then a Rat. At this point in the combo, make sure you keep at least one level 3 wind up in your grave in case you need it to go into Rat at some point. So we do the Fusion Destiny, which is always nice. Love to see that in the middle of the combo. Not that we'll be showcasing that here, but that would have been nice in a duel. So at this point, you want to take your two level 3s on the board. If Shark's level 4, make him a level 3, obviously. And then go into Zen Meidi again, because they're back in the extract thanks to Emerald. Detach your material, special summon Rat. Now normally you'd use this Rat's effect to special summon the Magician in our grave, but there are no wind-ups left in our deck, so we are going to grab Shark here. So this is what I'm talking about, but you need to get flexible with it a little bit. So we'll send Rat, activate Zen Maintenance effect, send Rat, special summon a Rat from our deck. Now we'll link off Emerald, Magician, and Zen Maintenance to go into a 3-mat Apollo USA. Make sure you use the Magician that hasn't used his effect yet if you still have a Magician on board. Now we freed up space on our board, we can activate Rat to bring Rat at level 3, wind up in our grave. And now at this point, I'll just go ahead and special summon the Shark, just get that final material I need on board. We'll go into our final carrier, we'll go into our final Zen Meidi. We'll overlay these two for Gallant Granite. Activate Gallant Granite's effect, doesn't matter what order you do Granite and Zen Meidi in at this point. We'll add our Researcher to our hand. Activate Zen Meidi, special summon the last Rat in our deck. Activate Rat. At this point, doesn't matter who you bring back. There's really nothing else you can do with it besides we're going to be using Rat for a synchro summon. You use your two Zen Meidis that can no longer activate their effect to go into Utopic Draco Future. Special summon Researcher now that you have zones cleared up. And make sure you special summon Researcher before you link off Gallant Granite, so I usually do that first. Now sync those two off for Naturia Beast, and then you will link these two off for Verte Anaconda. Now since I drew the Fusion Destiny, you would want to go into IP Mask there instead, but just to show off the combo, go into Verte, activate Verte, summon DPE. And then that's going to give us our end board. Now I'll show you a couple more ways to get to this end board. So this is basically the same combo, but this version of the combo, you need 3 level 3 monsters that can make it onto the board. So it's typically like 2 extenders and then like a normal summon level 3. So you're going to get 2 of them on the board, go into Zen Meidi, activate Zen Meidi's effect. And then at this point, you're going to special summon Shark. Now you will summon your 3rd extender if they're not already on the board. Make a Shark level 3. Overlay for Zen Meidi. Activate Zen Meidi. Detach material. Special summon Magician. Link these off for Zen Maintenance. Activate Zen Maintenance. Search Shark. That's going to trigger Magician, activate Magician, summon Magician. Activate Shark because a windup was special summoned. That's going to trigger Magician, activate Magician, summon Magician. Activate Shark, make himself a level 3, and that's going to trigger your final Magician. And at this point I usually grab Dog. But you could grab the other Shark there, it doesn't really matter. You just want to get a level 3 on the board. So now overlay 2 of your Magicians for Emerald. Activate his effect. And then I would leave that Shark in the grave in case you need it for your rat plays. So I would return your 2 Zenmaities and then just a random monster. And now that you have the Zenmaities back in your extra deck, you can go back into Zenmaity with your 2 level 3s on the board. Activate Zenmaity. Special summon Rat. Now make sure you use your Rat and Zen Maintenance's second effect before you link off Zen Maintenance. I've made that mistake a couple times. So activate Rat. This time you're going to bring back the Magician. Now activate Zen Maintenance. Banish Rat. Special summon a Rat. Now you go into Apollo and make sure you don't use that Magician you just summoned because their effect is still active. So link those 3 off for Apollo USA. Now you're going to activate Rat. Bring back a Shark. That's going to trigger Magician to get the last Shark out of your deck. You'll activate one of the Sharks to make them a level 3. Overlay Rat and Shark for Zenmaity. Overlay those 2 level 4s for Gallant Granite. Activate Granite, activate Zenmaity, doesn't matter what order, but here we're activating Granite. Search Researcher. Activate Zenmaity. Summon our last windup in deck and our last Rat. Activate Rat, summon whoever. I usually do Shark just in case we need to do something with the level modulation. Go into Draco Future. Special summon Researcher. Before we link off Gallant Granite. Sync off for Naturia Beast. Now link off for Verte. Activate Verte, summon DPE. Once again, we've gotten to the Zen board. So I have one other way to show you how to get to the Zen board. So this version of the combo requires exactly Windup Magician and exactly Windup Shark in hand. So you're going to normal summon Magician, activate Shark, that's going to trigger your Magician. You're going to special summon another Magician. Then you're going to activate Shark, make himself a level 3. Activate Magician. Special summon the last Magician. Now you will link off the 2 Magicians that already used their effect for Zen Maintenance. Activate Zen Maintenance. Search Shark. It's going to trigger the Magician on the field. Summon a level 3 windup, preferably not Rat. Now you're going to go into Zenmaity. Activate Zenmaity. Special summon Rat. Activate Rat. Bring back Magician. Activate Zen Maintenance to banish that Rat to special summon another Rat from your deck. And as always, make sure Rat's getting summoned in attack mode. That's going to trigger the Magician that you just summoned. And make sure you're summoning the Shark from your deck. Now you can link off the Magician, a Shark, and your Zen Maintenance for a 3-mat Apollo. Same old, same old. Activate your Rat. Bring back Shark or Dog, doesn't really matter, you just want to get a level 3 on board. Make Shark a level 3, overlay for Zenmaity. And you will see in this combo alone we end up not using Emerald, but we do end on the same board. But activate Zenmaity. Special summon the last rat from your deck. And at this point, go ahead and special summon that Shark that's been sitting in your hand that you added with Zen Maintenance. Overlay for Gallic Granite. Activate Granite, search Researcher. Use your Zenmaities to go into Utopic Draco Future. Probably seen this before. Now activate Rat, summon whoever. Special summon Researcher. Sync her off for Naturia Beast. Link the last two off for Verte, go into DPE. And you can see we're back at that end board. Just as a little aside, we have 2 level 3 extenders in our hand. What I could have done there is I could have summoned both of those and then link them off into IP Mask Arena and then activate Verte. That way you could use Verte and IP Mask in order to link someone on your opponent's turn for some sort of disruption or just getting out in an indestructible Abramax. Those are the main combo lines I put together for this build. You definitely need to be flexible, and whenever you're playing combo, you need to be flexible because at the end of the day, you are playing against an opponent. They are going to have interruption. So just practice, practice, practice as you can, and you'll get a feel for it. It looks like it might be complicated, but it's really not. Like I said, you're just trying to summon every single windup and do whatever you can to make that happen. Next up, I've got some duels for you, so hit it, Johnny. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these out of the way. When you're playing combo, sometimes you just win. You just make your board, your opponent has no interruption. They just scoop it up. A lot of times it's like in the middle of the combo.
You just got up smash. And now, oh, happy feet. One more combo. That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco. Oh, 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 oh.
Just because these aren't the most interesting duels in the world, just another one where we just combo up and we just win the duel. We did start with the Textomborg. He has the Ash Blossom, but I went ahead and played around that by normal summoning my Windup Magician. Windup Magician still triggers because then maybe activated, in fact, even though it's negated. So with that, we're able to just still basically full combo. Yeah, and he's done watching that. Alright, so the next one I got for you is actually kind of a real duel. Our hand does look pretty stacked. It is all gas, so let's go, go, go. Start off with that Textomborg and go into our Zenmaity. Activate the effect. And grab Shark, make him a level 3, overlay those 2 for Zenmaity. Activate Zenmaity. I don't know if you're sick of watching this yet, but, you know, that's combo. Link off into Zen Maintenance after getting a Magician on board. That's going to trigger our Magician. They'll summon another Magician. They'll summon our Shark from hand. That's going to trigger Magician. Get our last Magician. Activate Shark. Trigger our last Magician. Get out another Shark. Exceed off for Emerald. Activate its effect. We are going to put our carriers back in the extra deck as well as recover one shark. We'll activate this one shark, get back to level 3. Go into Zen Matey. Activate Zen Matey. We're going into Rat. Activate Rat's effect. Get a Magician back. And now we're going to activate Zen Maintenance. Banish that Rat. Get out another Rat. Go off into Apollo. Activate Rat. Bring back Shark. That's going to trigger Magician. That's going to allow us to get the last Shark out of deck, make Shark level 3, overlay with our Rat, go for Zen Matey, activate Zen Matey, and we're just going to use it to special summon our Rat. Go into Utopic Draco Future, activate Rat, Shark, go into Gallant Granite, and we've got extenders in our hands for days, so we are going to take advantage of that if we can. Link these off for Verte, sync these off for Naturia Beast, and now we will summon our 2 extenders. We will link those off for IP Mask, and our hand is looking pretty good. It's after we go into a DP and then go to our end phase, and I figured this was just going to be another scoop for my opponent, but he's staying in there, and more props to him, because he's going to open up with that Dark Ruler No More. Jesus Christ, that answers everything on this board, and then he goes into Gandora. I was laughing my ass off after this happened. I couldn't believe I might actually lose this duel. We do actually have some decent recovery though. We'll just go ahead and activate that Dasher. We know DP is at least coming back, so that's a decent chunk of damage on board. We'll activate Denier, bring back Denier. We'll dose normal summon junk forward. He's off Nightmare Unicorn, activate Unicorn. It did cost him half his life points for his play last turn. And then we'll go to our battle phase. And swing for people. I probably should have given him the win. That would have been deserved, but GG, friend. This is the next duel I have for you. We're actually going second, and I wanted to showcase this one off because this one also is like actually kind of a real duel. Although it is against Sacred Beast, but he actually ends up putting up a decent board. He's gonna get a Haman, he's gonna get a Fallen Paradise, he's gonna set 2 and pass it over to me. Our hand is looking a little scuffed, but with that extra draw, there's a lot we can do with this. Let's see, we can start off with a junk forward, special summon that allows us to special summon Psychic Tracker, go into Zen Matey, and he's going to fire off that Solemn Vigil right there, putting him down to 2k life points. We can just get some bodies on board. We can pretty easily find lethal, and finding that Shark is humongous. So we'll go into Zen Matey, activate the effect, allow us to get Rat. Rat's going to bring back that Shark we just found. Link those 2 off for Zen Maintenance because we want to spin this Rat back to get another Rat going. We will search a Shark just as one more extender, send that Rat back, get out Rat, activate Shark, special summon Shark, activate Rat, special summon get Shark in our grave, go into Emerald, activate Emerald, Sukanoko. Overlay these 2 for the Zen Mateys we just put back, and we're back off to the races again. Unfortunately, I think there's only one more Rat left in our deck, so we can't really extend too much more up to this last Zen Matey, although we're still going to go into it because it's basically the same as 2 we have on board. We'll go into Utopic Draco Future at this point. And now we have material on board to go into Access Code Talker. And at this point, I would have activated Fusion Destiny, but the unknown set was a Twin Twister, and he'll pop that. But it's easy enough for Access Code Talker to clean up his board, and then we would have swung in for lethal. GG. Alright, so this is the last duel I have for you today. We're going to start off by special summoning Gilosaurus. And he's going to infinite and permanence him, because I don't know. I assume he didn't read God Bless the Start of the Season. Is all I had to say, but we'll go ahead and go into Lineup Magician. We'll go out, get out Zen Matey. We'll special summon Magician off Magician. We'll go into another Zen Matey. Activate the effect, grab our last Magician. Link these off for Zen Maintenance. Activate Zen Maintenance effect, search a Shark. It's going to trigger Magician. Get 2 level 3s on board. Link these 2 off for Daigusto Emerald. Activate the effect. Send our Zen Mateys back as long as one of our Rats. Over these 2 for Zen Matey, activate Zen Matey. We're going to special summon a Rat. We're going to activate Rat's effect, bring back Shark. And we'll use Zen Maintenance to reset our Rat that can no longer use its effect. Although, He's not really being reset. We know he's being banished face down, never to be seen again. Almost like he's a faceless cog, an endless machine. No, he's no longer able to function. He'll be replaced by someone the exact same that can do the job. And he'll be forgotten. Forever. But then we'll link these three off for Apollo USA. And we're going to keep our combo going. We'll activate Wind Up Rat. We'll bring back Shark. Activate Shark, make him level 3. Overlay these two for Zen Matey. We're going to special summon that Shark in hand that we added. Activate Zen Matey. Bring out our last Rat. Turn these two into Utopic Draco Future. Turn these two into Gallic Granite, just because we need a rock on the board, even though we already have Researcher in our hand. Special summon Researcher, sync these off for an Echuria Beast. Link these two off for Verite. You will activate Verite. Special summon DPE. And we'll pass. Let's see what my opponent can do. I'm guessing he wishes he still had that Imperm. Oh, but he does have a Droplet. And he ends up choosing the effect negation. I think that's going to end up being a mistake, leaving the Echuria Beast up. I think he's really underestimating how much work the Echuria Beast is going to put in. And we also still have our DPE pop. So I'm just going to hold that off for basically the last possible moment. I know he's going to have to use spell cards at some point. So I just basically need to protect the castle, protect my Echuria Beast. And so far I haven't really seen any choke point that I could really exploit. So I'm just holding off on this DP as long as possible. He's going to try to activate that polymerization. At this point we fire off the Echuria Beast, obviously. We're not letting him get out Ab-Zero. He will link these two off for Dread Decimator. He's going to try to beat over an Echuria Beast. And once we're in battle phase, at that point, I'm going to go ahead and pop the Dread Decimator. He's going to add the Dark Calling, try to activate it, and Echuria Beast not once per turn. We will negate that as well, and at that he's just going to scoop it up. GG, I appreciate him trying to play through that. He almost had it, so good game. I've listed out some other staples here that you might want to consider, just hand traps or other just general good cards, where you might want to cut down on some of the level 3 engine and run more interruption than hand traps, or just some better like Ghost Second cards. Just things to consider that I just wanted to throw in here for you to look at. There are some other level 3 engines that you might want to consider, and I think I've included them all here, and I'll go through them. The first one is Gallus the Star Beast. He's extremely strong when he works, but you're going to hit that duel where he's going to hit a non-monster, even though we're running such a high monster count, where he's going to hit one of your spells, and you're going to just lose the duel completely on the spot, and you'll probably end up cutting him. There is an extremely greedy version of the deck where you just run like 37 monsters and then 2 Sekka's Light and a Fusion Destiny. That build is actually like playable and good, and in that one, Gallus the Star Beast is like one of your best extenders possible. So if you want to run that version, go for it, and I've included them here just for you to consider. Next up is Gen X Ally Birdman. You can return one face-up monster to special summon from your hand. He's like interesting extension, and he is a tuner, which is possibly interesting if you could think of something funny to do with that. But just because of like the situational special summon of himself, I just don't include him. But maybe you really like him, maybe you can think of something fun to do with him. Tour Guide is one card turned into 2 level 3s, which seems pretty strong because obviously that's one Zemadi, but it ends up being pretty greedy just because of the fact that it uses up your normal summon, and if your opponent has basically any hand trap, Tour Guide is going to get absolutely wrecked by it. So it just ends up being just more greedy than the other level 3 engines that we're currently running. So I don't currently run a Tour Guide engine, but maybe you like it, maybe you want to run it. Kagamuchanite is decent, but you do need to normal summon a level 3 monster in order to special summon him. And the biggest issue where that comes up is Wind Up Shark, even though you're usually using him as level 3, when he's normal summoned he's level 4, so he does not work with Kagamuchanite. And I know this because I did that once and it completely screwed me. And there's just so many other level 3 engines that you can run that I just ended up cutting them. The only like interesting parts about him are his typing. He's Dark Warrior. You could search him with Rhoda, I guess, but I don't think he's worth running, but I've included him in here. Zayaman can search Foxytune, and then Foxytune could summon another Zayaman. Or if you're fine with like 1 to 2 more garnets, you could search like Madame Spider, and the Madame Spider can search you 1 more interruption, and then that's like 2 level 3s on board. And then if you're running E-Telly, you could like have E-Tellied out that Zeoman's level 3 psychic, and then you haven't used your normal summon. It's like a decent engine to run, but it is using up like a lot of your deck space. Or you might want to just consider running emergency teleport. I mean, we're already on the 2 psychic wheeler and tracker, so that's already 2 level 3 psychic monsters that we're running in the main deck. So maybe you just want to run the E-Tally. Just that's something you can consider. Rescue Cat is also 1 card, 2 level 3s, and he works with the windup since Dog and Rat are both level 3 beasts. Rescue Cat just has the same problem as Tour Guide. It's just very, very strong. It's going to be your best openers when it goes off, but you are going to lose so hard when your opponent has a hand trap to interrupt it because it uses up your normal summon. And then Rescue Cat's probably even worse than Tour Guide. Rescue Cat's a level 4, so you wouldn't be able to like follow up with like Psychic Tracker and then overlay into Zen Matey. So I ended up cutting the Rescue Cats, even though it is so strong. It's just too greedy that I don't think it's worth running. The deck has no issue going into Dagda and proccing Dagda, so you could run Dagda Scythe if you want. And then you know we're running DBE, so we have no issue popping the Scythe. So if you want to switch up your combo line a bit and you want to include the Scythe lock, go for it. For the extra deck, you might want to consider, since we're like an XYZ deck, you might want to consider running Zeus. And then if you're going to run Zeus, I'd probably recommend just running Fortune Tune, just because it's the best. Like, if your opponent has an established board, Fortune Tune's like the best monster you can go into because it can't be targeted, and then it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can like go Fortune Tune, crash it into something, go into Zeus, clear their board. I was having trouble finding space, and I was running just like kind of a more greedy version of the deck. But Zeus is obviously strong, and if you can find the space for it, I'd probably recommend running at least those 2. If you can find the space, maybe you want to run Downer Magician as well. There are some old wind-up OTKs and combos that use Photon Papillary Operative because wind-up Magician summons them in defense. You can't really go into wind-up Rat, but because Rat needs to be in attack. But you could like run Photon Pap because Pap can like switch your Rats into attack. I mean, like the examples like you summon Magician, activate Shark, summon Shark, trigger Magician, summon Rat in defense, overlay Shark Magician for Photon Papillary Operative, activate Pap, target Rat, detach Shark, activate Rat, target Shark, and then go off from there. I mean, that combo is probably no longer worth it, but someone smarter than me maybe can like figure out some broken use of that, so I just wanted to point it out. You might want to run Dugaris. Personally, I think the deck has enough extenders that we don't need to bring Dugaris into the mix because the deck has no issues summoning him. So, I mean, maybe you want to take advantage of the free summon, but I just don't think it's worth it. You could try and include some of the level 5 XYZs that are like good, but they're not that strong as part of an end board. They're really just better as like reactive tools. And if like you're looking for a reactive tool, you probably just want to go Zeus. Other than that, I've just listed out some other extra deck staples that the deck can easily summon and take advantage of that maybe you want to consider. I just wanted to throw them in here just to get it out there, get your brain juices flowing, as you will. And I mean, that pretty much covers the other cards I think you might want to consider. If you think I should be including any of them, let me know below. If there are some other cards you'd like and I haven't listed them up here, please let me know. I mean, I love discussing other card considerations, but otherwise, let me pull the deck back up and I'll give you some final thoughts. I am surprised this deck isn't more popular on Master Duel. I mean, it is a very competent combo deck that can put up some very strong boards. But at the end of the day, this does end up being just another summon spam wombo combo deck in Master Duel. Some of the others that exist might just be better, like Adamantipator might just be a better combo deck if you're looking to run that. But this deck does have some unique options available to it that the others don't. Another nice thing is most people aren't familiar with this deck, so they end up playing poorly against it because they don't know your choke points or when to throw out interruptions. So that is one advantage that I think it has. But in terms of strength, like all the combo decks, you desperately want to win the coin flip. It's not the best at cracking established board. It loses decently hard to Max C or other well-timed hand traps. It has a tough time versus board breakers since your recovery options are limited. But if you are able to get set up, you get some very, very easy wins. And you know someone in our Master Duel is going to go complain about you, which maybe that's what you're looking for. And I think the deck can easily compete and is easily rogue tier, but I don't expect it to ever be tiered or a meta threat just because of the inherent weaknesses it has as a combo deck. In terms of fun, you need to ask yourself whether you like playing combo and you're okay making people sit there while you play through half your deck in a turn. And maybe you do like that. I mean, I generally enjoy playing combo, especially when you have like a weird hand or you get into a weird board state and you're able to map out some really cool line and find the win from there, something like that. However, a lot of duels just become like these non-games or just quick scoops from an opponent, where it's like, does my opponent have Max C? Okay, great. They don't. Did they draw Lava Golem or Dark Rule Noble? Or great, they didn't. And then I've got more interruption than they have cards. Good game. But as you saw from some of the duels I showcased, there are some interesting plays for you to make and for your opponent. It's just whether you consider that those are the kind of games you want to play. In terms of price tag, the main deck's not bad. I mean, you're looking at, I mean, other than the staples, you're looking at nothing worse than like some super rares. But a lot of these like super rares, you can slot into some like other decks. However, once you get down to the extra deck, it's about as pricey as you can get. I mean, well, we got two super rares, the rest ultra rares. I mean, granted, most of these are staples. If you're missing a big chunk of it, unless you're really itching to play windup, I would probably not recommend building this. But if you're looking for an interesting combo deck and don't mind blowing through some of these URs or buying into the windup secret pack, this one I'd probably highly recommend. It's pretty fun. But other than that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, at least found it informative, I guess. But I always appreciate any likes or feedback. If you have any thoughts or questions, put them down below. But otherwise, see ya.